This video lecture is about airport zones. The obstruction to aircraft can be divided into two types: imaginary surface and objects with actual heights. Assumed surfaces of any airport by which aircraft should move above of that particular surface is called as imaginary surface. And the different heights of the development in the vertical direction and its height is object with actual heights. Imaginary surface are basically established in relation to airport and to each runway above which no obstruction should be projected. It depends on the category of runway and type of approach planned for that particular runway. So there are these 5 imaginary surfaces. In this figure, the legend A indicates the actual runway and B is the clear zone. C is the approach clearance surface. D is the approach or departure clearance surface in horizontal direction. E is the inner horizontal surface, and F conical surface, G outer horizontal surface, and H transitional surface. So all this will be in the 3-dimensional view. Approach surface provided at the end of the landing of runway, longitudinally centered on the extended center line of the runway. It is trapezoidal in shape. I can see the approach surface is trapezoidal here. So this is the actual runway and this is the approach surface. So it is trapezoidal and it is inclined towards the runway. So this is the isometric view of different zones in the airport. You can see the approach surface zone, so which is elevated at the outer edge of the airport or the runway, and lower elevation towards the runway. And this is the transitional surface zone, and very close to the runway is the horizontal surface zone, and next is the conical surface zone. Takeoff climb surface. It is provided for takeoff of the aircraft at the end of the runway. It is trapezoidal in shape. Horizontal surface. The height of outer horizontal surface extends from 150 meter above the airport elevation to 9,900 meter up to 15,000 meters above the elevation of airport reference point. It extends from upper edge of transition surface and ends at the lower or inner circular edge of the conical surface. Conical surface extends upward and outwards from the inner horizontal surface to a point which is at some height above the horizontal surface. Objects with actual height. Any object within 4.5 km distance from the runway end is considered as obstruction if the actual height is more than 30 meters above the ground or above the level of approach end of runway, whichever is higher. Any object which is located beyond a distance of 4.5 km from the runway is considered as an obstruction if its height is above 30 meters and increases by more than 7.5 meter for additional 1.5 km distance of the runway. Any object which projects above the minimum approach flight altitude or whose height exceeds 150 meter above the ground is also to be considered as an obstruction. So based on this, we have runway clear zone. It indicates the innermost portion of the approach zone and it is to be provided at the end of the runway. The length of the clear zone is determined by the distance required by an aircraft to reach a height of 30 meters from the appropriate approach surface. So in this picture we can see the runway clear zone. It depends on the aircraft to reach an height of 30 meters above the ground level. Turning zone. So this is provided for turning of the aircraft in case of emergencies. So any object which is located within a distance of 4.5 km from the airport reference point is considered as an obstruction if its height exceeds 51 meters above the ground. If any object beyond a distance of 4.5 km from the ARP is considered as an obstruction if its height exceeds 51 meters plus 30 meters for each additional 1.5 km from ARP. Zoning laws. The formation of suitable zoning laws is an essential part of an airport master plan and to be implemented as soon as the final selection of airport site is made. So it involves height zoning and land use zoning. Height zoning. The height zoning is mainly aimed to protect the approaches to the airport from the obstruction. It regulates the height of the structures on the land surrounding the airport. Land use zoning. So it governs the type of development that is taking place at the adjoining areas of the airport. So it may be like terminal buildings, parkings, aprons, runways, taxiways, etc. which are associated with the airport. Non-navigational purpose like commercial, industrial, residential and recreational activities. Smoke obstructs the visibility and hence industries giving out dust and industries are not allowed. Agricultural land may be permitted as long as they don't attract birds. Thank you.